Denver Broncos versus Pittsburgh Steelers. A big game to me this week. Yeah, one team is 3-1. Denver Broncos kind of riding high. The Pittsburgh Steelers 1-3. But this is a game that could bring Pittsburgh closer. This is a game that could bring Denver back further to the pack when we're talking about possible wild card teams. I know Denver still has aspirations to win the division. Before we get rolling here, before we get into the fantasy football projections, I want everybody, I want Denver fans, I want Pittsburgh fans, comment below, what is your prediction for this game? What is your score prediction? Spoiler alert, I think it's going to be more of a defensive matchup this week. I think in terms of fantasy football players, there's not a lot to love here, but let's just get right into it. Big Ben Roethlisberger, questionable this week. I have not seen, as of the recording this video, please, Steelers fans, comment below. I know you are in the know. You have the fresh intel. Let me know, do you think he's going to play? Generally with Big Ben, I kind of always assume he's going to play. I haven't seen anything negative. He's going to be banged up all year, unfortunately, with that offensive line. Hopefully the offensive line can get it better, at least in terms, for Steelers fans, or if you're a Steelers fan. I have Big Ben at a 13.83. That is a bad projection. That is respect for the Denver Broncos defense. Najee Harris, a 10.91. Let me say this. These are computer projections. Najee is going to exceed this computer projection just based on his ability to receive out of the backfield. But 10.91, again, respect my computer projections, respect the Denver Broncos defense and their ability to shut down the run. Najee Harris will exceed this, in my opinion, and yes, I would play him if he was on, my fantasy football teams and all that, but I would not buy him in daily fantasy. I'll put it that way. At receiver, we have two big players who are questionable at this point. Juju Smith-Schuster and Claypool, they are both questionable. They both practiced in limited capacity. I have Juju Smith-Schuster at a 12.29. I have Claypool at a 13.67. Both of those are definitely start grades. Regardless, I have Deontay Johnson finishing at 17.63 points. I think he's your best receiver no matter what. I have James Washington at a 5.74. Now, I'm worried about Claypool because of the hamstring. Those are a little bit, I think, harder to recover from within the week and all that stuff. If Claypool's out, I think Washington steps up. Last week, I think he had 4 receptions for 69 yards, something like that. I think he'll do better this week as the Broncos try to shut down Smith-Schuster, assuming he plays, and of course, Deontay Johnson. At tight end, I list 2 for the Steelers, and neither one I like this week. I've been saying in recent weeks, if you've been catching my Pittsburgh Steelers previews and all these things, Freiermuth I've liked moving forward. This week is not the week to like Freiermuth, and I also don't like Ebron. Freiermuth, I think, is the fantasy football tight end to own. Ebron, yeah, he'll get a touchdown or 2 here and there in the season. Freiermuth is the one to own, but I wouldn't play either this week. I wouldn't touch either with a 10-foot pole, to be honest with you, against this Denver Broncos defense. Now, for the Denver Broncos, another quarterback who is questionable. It kind of stinks when you're trying to call these games, and both the quarterbacks are questionable. Bridgewater practiced in limited capacity. He is still in the concussion protocol. That's tricky because it's not up to Bridgewater to play. It's not up to the Broncos. He's got to be released from the concussion protocol. He projects at a 15.24. Again, that's not really a start grade. I think he could do way better on waivers, and I'm going to release a late week waiver wire segment with Fantasy Football Sleepers. That'll be available Friday morning. Let's see here. Melvin Gordon, questionable. I have it an 8.98, and I have Javanta Williams at a 5.99. Now, obviously, if Gordon doesn't play, Williams is going to get a bigger share of the offense, and he'll exceed that. But what is this saying? Respect to the Pittsburgh Steelers defense and their ability to shut down the run. Both of these teams want to establish the run. Both of these teams are going to have trouble doing that. Like I said, I think it's going to be a little bit more of a defensive game. At wide receiver, Deontay Spencer's questionable, but I don't really think he's as relevant as Courtland Sutton and Tim Patrick, who both score well in my opinion. And then at tight end, Noah Fant at a 7.63. I like Fant. This is a low projection for him. Again, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they generally have speed at linebacker, and that helps when you're trying to cover, even the most versatile of tight ends. Fant, I don't know if I had to guess one way or another if this is like an over-under 7.63. I would take the over on this, but either way, I kind of stay away from him if I have better options out there. And for a lot of you, by the way, Dawson Knox is available on waivers. I think that would be a good pickup. Now, for the game pick, right? My score projections, this is an even spread. My pick, I have the Denver Broncos 17, the Pittsburgh Steelers at home winning 20-17. This is taking a big, in my opinion, leap of faith. I believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line will get it together at some point. I believe that at some point, the offensive coordinator will adapt and start throwing in some more no-huddle on these kinds of things. I think that will happen this week with Teddy Bridgewater, limited in practice all week. I think that plays into the Steelers' hands. Now, my computer projections, like Denver, 21-13. Like Denver comfortably, by the way. On the road, 21-13. I'm just going to stay away from this one in terms of putting my money on it. But Denver fans, Pittsburgh fans, NFL fans out there, comment below, which do you think is right? Do you think I'm right? Do you think the Pittsburgh Steelers cover this? Do you think the Denver Broncos are right? Do you think my computer projections cover this? Comment below with your score projection. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll be back with some more previews and fantasy football sleepers and all that stuff soon.